Hi everyone, FB here to bring you another edition of fB's Weekly. This is an endurance race that I host every Saturday, which lasts for about 1 hour on a track that's released just before the race goes live. The track used is a mixture of different styles that you find in stadium, such as tech, dirt, speed, obstacles, etc. No registration is needed to participate, simply join the server before starting time and you will be eligible to play. We're seeing some warm-ups right now on this week's track, which is Wanderlust by Malele. Before the race goes live, I also want to mention that I run a time attack competition on the most recently used map. To participate, upload your best replay of the map to Mania Exchange. The deadline is always set to 2 PM CET on Saturday. And as before, a season will also be taking place. The season will now last for 2 months, and for this season that means 8 races with your 6 best results being counted. Top 15 will get points, with the person getting the best lap receiving 5 bonus points. Top 3 will win some prize money based on contributions through Twitch and YouTube. And here are the current standings. Flyer won race 6, which was his 14th hole, and with that he's leading with 195 points with 2 races left to go. At second place we got Shorty with 137 points, and Spam is at third with 125 points. And if you want to find out more information about this race, that can be found below the stream or the VOD. Alright, so we are about to start. Let me just check some things here. Actually, let's not check that now. So yeah, we got 195 players by the looks of it on the server, and there's gonna be 18 laps this time. The race will take 45 minutes for first place of finish, and then a 10-minute timer will start for everyone else to also finish it. Yeah, I guess I did add the password a bit earlier than 4 PM CET, but it's hard for me to time that exactly every time, so sorry about that. But yeah, try to I guess be on the server well in time. Alright, so 30 seconds left to go. Let's see who's playing this week. Of course, Flyer. Flyer will be driving, the current leader of the season. And he's probably going to be the winner of the season as well, with 2 races left to go. And then we also have Shorty driving, I believe, second place. And lastly we also got Spam driving, who's at third place, although I don't see him here in the rankings, but he's probably a bit further back. Alright, 5 seconds left to go. Good luck and fun. I will be disabled in chat. And off we go. Good luck, have fun. 49th edition of fB's Weekly about to start. And let's follow the current leader of the season, Flyer, through the first lap of this map, Wanderlust by Malele. Here we go, we got 193 players driving. First turn, and it's a lot of cars. Flyer goes through the first turns without problems, and then we have a small drop down to dirt. This turn here can be a bit tricky to keep your gear in, so if you're a good dirt player, then you will definitely be able to take advantage of that turn. Then we have a small obstacle part here, can also be a tricky, followed by another drop, and then a long tech turn to the right. You want to keep your drift here for a long time, and this can be really tricky to do, especially if you have low speed. So that's gonna be good for good tech players especially. We see Massa in the lead right now, just ahead of Flyer, who enters the speed section now. And the speed section is pretty open, and you can also do a small speed slide here and there, especially here, although it won't give you that much of an advantage. We see Raysons up in the top. Raysons, who's won the most amount of times this race. 9 times first. No, not 9 times, that's sand. It's 12 times first. And he was doing good last time the race was hosted as well, but then retired. We'll see if he will be able to finish this time. And he is in the lead as we go through the stretches. We got 2 stretches kind of on this map. Here's the second one. And then we'll have some more dirt. Ooh, Flyer hit the wall. Also Raysons, I believe, and Flyer went too much to the left in that dirt transition. You want to make sure that you go a bit more to the right at that place, otherwise you will hit that edge. Oh, and San, who came up to the top, will hit the wall. Raysons takes over first place again as we enter another tech section. And also this part is kind of hard to do well because you don't have good speed and it's kind of like an uphill, so it's hard to do a drift. If you're good at performing the Neo drift, then that's definitely going to be helping you. Following that, we got a small obstacle part. There's a narrow passage here, so you need a lot of precision to be able to do it well. And then another small dirt section. And then we are closing in on the end. This part here can also be tricky. How is player cutting the checkpoint there? Interesting. And then we have a small loop, and then the last part will come up, another obstacle part. You want to go to the left or right or left there. If you go the opposite way, then you're gonna get a landing bug. And Raysons is in the lead after one lap. We got Flyer at second. Aurel is at third place. Don't think I've seen him play the race before. We got Tween at fourth, who is also quite high up in the ranking. I believe he got a chance to maybe take second place at least. I think he's like at fourth place or something like that. But he will go down in gear, as I was mentioned before, at this third part. And you see how much he loses with that. By just being in the wrong gear, lots of players will pass him, including Spam, Sand, Wally, and Can. So Tween drops down to 8th place. And then we have this long drift turn as well, and Tween will not be able to keep his drift. Takes the inside route. Some people will go on the outside and build up more speed for the speed section. Not sure what is faster. We've got still Raysons in the lead, although Flyer will pass him. Raysons and Flyer has had a lot of duels in the history of this race. So we'll see if that's going to happen again. Let's see who else we have. We do have Massa, who proclaimed he was not going to drive the race before the race started. I think he didn't like the map. But here he is, still driving, and is at 10th or 9th place now. We'll pass Dido, who drops down to 10th. We got Jerem for Esports United at 11th place. Clement at 12th, although lots of players will pass him now actually, including Santana, Toto, Mel, and also Fussy shows up. Of course, top 15 will receive points in the season. Right now Clement is at 15th place, as he too will hit that transition at the dirt. It's a bit tricky to do it well. Fussy will come up and go up to 15th place. So we got Flyer now in the lead. Let's switch to him. Going through the last couple of turns, or well, it's still like 30 seconds left, I guess. Raysons, already a bit behind Flyer. See how he does this tight passage, pretty good. And then we got Sand at third place. Sand, who is the one with most amount of podium placements. Actually been a while since he drove in the race, but he's been on the podium 18 times. 9 times first, 6 times second, and 3 times third. And with that, he's ahead of Shodi with 16 times and Raysons with 15 times. But yeah, it's been a couple of months since Sand drove the race. So if he had stayed active, he probably would have had a greater lead in that ranking. So he's at third right now. We see Wally also showing up. Wally, who won the first ever edition of the race. And in addition, he's been on the podium 8 times. So 9 times in total. So a very successful player as well. And he will go up to second place. Passing Raysons. Takes a much wider route. Will build up more speed. Then Wally goes outside of the pole. Wally goes inside. And it seems like Wally kept the same amount of speed than as Raysons, so maybe going inside there is a bit faster. So Flyer in the lead. Will he win for the 5th time in the season? It's kind of funny how Flyer before this season started had not won a single race. Then when it started, he started winning as well. And so now he's won it 4 times in total. And yeah, I mean, he's leading here again. Could he take the 5th win tonight? Or today, rather. Good speed from Raysons, but a better line there from Sand, keeping his 3rd place. Tween has gone up to 5th place now. Ooh, I don't know about that turn. Oh, interesting. Wow, that's very interesting. I don't know if many people are doing that turn the way Tween is doing it. Yeah, that's really interesting. Of course, you will get 5 bonus points for the best lap, so maybe Tween has figured out this map and might be able to set the fastest time. See, right now it's 2:28.71 by Flyer. I guess we can follow Tween and see if he will set a fast time this lap. Rayson's taken over. Oh, drops down to third. Sand now at second. It was really close between Sand, Raysons and Wally. And then we do have a gap of 2 seconds down to Tween at fifth. So here comes Tween through the loop and see how he does this obstacle part. Ooh, risky, but got a lot of speed. Sand will take over first place and Tween only with fourth local record, but they are all pretty close to each other. Aurel is at sixth. Oh, was gonna clip the wall before the drop down to dirt. Looks like no one will pass him though. He will keep his sixth place, so we have a gap down to Jerem at seventh. It's 2 seconds now, but it was more. You can see at the top of the screen the car, the white car, you see the numbers in green and red. That is how close the players are to each other. So Jerem is 2 seconds behind Aurel right now. And if it's green, that means he's gaining time. And then the one to the left is how far ahead he is of Dido. And it's not with a lot. Dido at 8th place. Then we have Fuzzy now at 9th place. Gaining a couple of positions since the previous lap. We got Raggle at 10th. That's been on the podium 2 times before. We got Mel at 11th. Spam, the current 3rd place in the season, is at 12th place right now. So that opens up for players behind him to perhaps take over that 3rd place, including Tween. I believe Tween is at 4th place, if I'm not mistaken. Then we got Toto at 13th. Roa at 14th. He's been on the podium a couple of times this season. He's also, I believe, close to Spam. He could actually be at 4th place too. I'm not sure if it's Tween or Roa at 4th place. It's one of them, I believe. It's Toto now at 13th. None of them does the Tween strat here. We got Berserk at 14th, and then Shorty pops up and will pass Berserk. Shorty is not with a great start. Was 2nd place in race 48. So let's see if he can come back from this. In the top, we now got Sand in the lead. But did he lose a lot of speed here? Yes, he did. Here comes Flyer and will overtake him. Close battle between Sand and Flyer, and Flyer cutting that checkpoint. That requires a lot of precision, so I wonder if Flyer will continue to do that. Ooh, Sand with much more confidence going through that last section. And he's back in the lead as he enters lap 6, I believe. And Flyer is gonna hit the wall. This map is pretty hard. Definitely not an easy map, as Raysons has stopped driving. He did tell me that he might have... he maybe had to quit the race because his gamepad kept disconnecting, so I wonder if that happened. Raysons out of the race. Not gonna finish this one, as was the case in race 48. As we see Wally now passing Tween and going up to 3rd place. And Sand with a 2-second lead now all of a sudden over Flyer. So Flyer must have crashed. And Sand in the lead. Will Sand win for the 19th time? Or not the 19th time, 10th time. Would be his 19th podium position. He's been away from the race for a couple of months, but it doesn't seem to have affected him. He's just as good as when he stopped. Let's follow him through this lap to see how he does these turns. Curious how he does that Tween turn, as I now have named it, I guess. Oh, he brakes a bit before this turn. I think a lot of players probably go over that quarter pipe, or not the quarter, but the half pipe, but Sand slows down a bit, so he doesn't have to take as long of a route. Might be smart. And he won't do it as Tween will, I guess. Yeah, no, Tween is not doing it anymore, so I guess maybe that was... maybe he didn't have much speed that time and thought it would be faster to go a bit wider. Sand still 2 seconds ahead of Hobby Flyer. Ooh, almost crashed. Those turns are also difficult to go through. And so is this part. He will hit the edge before he left that part, so that means Hobby Flyer will get closer. Let's see Hobby Flyer cutting the checkpoint again. There we go. And he hits the ceiling of it as well, and that kind of seems to help him get a quicker turn to the right. So I don't know, yeah, that's a pretty good strat I think by Hobby Flyer. Doesn't look to be that difficult. Oh, but he's gonna hit the wall before the drop in the end. You want to make sure that you don't have your wheels on the angled road, because that will give you a landing bug. I did notice when I tested this map. Oh, and then Sand must have crashed, because Hobby Flyer now only 7400s behind him. Gained a lot here. And then we have 3 seconds down to Wally, so right now there looks to be a battle between Sand and Hobby Flyer for first place. And Wally... Ooh! Hobby Flyer might have got a landing bug. Comes Wally through the long drift turn. Will do it well. Gets a drift here as well. Perhaps with the help of Neo. A Neo drift. And he will enter the speed section. We got Tween at 4th. Aurel is 6 seconds behind Tween at 5th place. Huge time differences early on in the race. We're only into lap 6 out of 18. This is a tricky map, there's no doubt about it. So we are going to see huge gaps between the players. Dido is 2 seconds behind Aurel at 6th. And then 2 seconds down to Roa at 7th. Jerem at 9th. We got Mel at 9th now. Jerem goes up to 8th. Who did he pass? Not sure. Yoshi is at 10th. We got Raggle at 11th, or 10th now. I guess Venick drops down to 13th place. Berserk will pass him. And then we got Fuzzy at 14th, and lastly Dog is at 15th place, with Shorty just behind him. So that's the current top 15. Sand still in the lead, but only with 7600 ahead of Hobby Flyer. Let's go through the pages. We still got 144 players driving. Spam has now dropped down to 20th place, I see here. I'm not sure if he will get any points in this race. Let's see who else we have. We have Nugget driving for Team Dignitas at 31st place. 29th now, behind Fakey and ahead of Focus. We have Booster, who is at 34th place, behind Obeson and ahead of Ricardo. Whoops, for some reason I'm pressing the wrong button. Here's Ook at 57th place, behind Shady and ahead of Nelky. And we see Sand, Hobby Flyer and Wally taking over that local record. First Sand, then Hobby Flyer, and then lastly Wally. Very close to each other in the times, so yeah, not sure who's gonna win the best lap. Next page, we got Rusk, the ESL admin, playing this week at 74th place. He is behind Freaky and ahead of Idelep. We have also Kurre, which is an old school Swedish player. I saw him in the warm-up as well, so that was really cool to see. He played in a lot of Nations Cups. I guess many people might remember him as he goes on his back and will have to respawn. But yeah, Kurre played in a lot of old school tournaments. Participated in DreamHack as well. And I think he took 3rd one time in DreamHack as well. So really cool to see Kurre back driving. And he is at 101st place now with that respawn, behind Laximus and ahead of Mungus. Let's see here. We got Saliger at 110th place. Behind Michelle and ahead of Lukinas. And yeah, I don't really expect too many people to finish this race, just because the map is kind of hard. I wouldn't say it's hard, but it's kind of tricky. I guess that's the same thing. Never mind. Here's Jofu 123 at 84th place. How did that happen? Not sure. Now I don't even know where I was. Here's Sandraku at 122nd place. Behind fistBeule and ahead of Londark. And in the top we see now that Sand is 2.5 seconds ahead of Haviflyer. And then can we find who is the current last player? It is Mr. Bidu at 130th place. So we already have like 70 players who have quit. Mr. Bidu is behind T-Chicks. Okay, so let's go back to the top again. We have Sand in the lead. Has begun lap 8. And then we have Haviflyer still at 2nd and Wally still at 3rd. Oh, it seems like Rayson's had his game closed this time. Yeah, that's Mania Planet. Sometimes that happens, unfortunately. So that's why Rayson's no longer driving. But yeah, what can you do? Oh, and Wally has gone up to 2nd place. I was looking at the chat. Haviflyer with a potential mistake. And will go down in 1 position. Good time from Tween as securing the 5th local record. As it looks right now though, if this is gonna be the placement, then I kinda think I can maybe say that Haviflyer will win the season after this race is over. Because I don't think... I mean, it would have to be like Tween, Spam, or Roa, or Shorty who would have to be ahead of him, maybe take first, and Haviflyer would be like outside of top 15. Then I think it would be kind of realistic that Haviflyer could lose his first place, but now he's doing so good in this race. 3rd place, just behind Wally. 1 second ahead of Tween, and then we have a huge gap down to RL. It continues to grow bigger. It's now 7 seconds. So we have 4 players who have broken away from the others. As we see Tween having some trouble getting past that narrow section. See, he's not gonna cut the checkpoint, that's only Haviflyer from the looks of it. And gets a pretty good ending as he enters lap 9 out of 18. Sand still keeping a small lead. It's not impossible for Wally to catch up and win the race, as we see Roa claiming the 4th local record, 2:28.20. Wally still with the fastest time. Also Fuzzy improves his best time. See who else we have. Aurel, as mentioned, is at 5th. And then Roa is 4 seconds behind Aurel at 6th. So yeah, it's definitely this map is definitely not easy. A lot of people have trouble staying consistent on it. Already 41 seconds between 1st and 22nd place. We have Mel at 7th. 5.5 seconds behind Roa. And it's pretty close here between Jerem, Mel, Jerem, Yoshi, Raggle, Fuzzy. Those players are pretty close to each other. And then it's 3.5 seconds down to Dog at 12th place. Followed by Shorty now, who's at 13th place. And then Masa at 14th and Remix at 15th. You see Spam is now going up to 18th place, getting closer to... reaching that top 15 and getting the points. But right now I think we will see Spam losing his third place in the season. I guess to Tween, because he's at third place now, has passed Flyer. Flyer, who had such a good start to this race, is now down to fourth place. Has lost a lot in these last couple of laps. Ooh, and that's not pretty. It's gonna hit a lot of walls. And let's see his cut here. Very nice. Definitely think he's doing that part the fastest out of everyone. And we'll see Wally securing first place, 226.65. So right now, Wally close to getting the double. He's still 1 second behind Sand, but it feels like he's getting closer. Might be able to even overtake him in this lap, so let's follow him through it. Lap 10. Entering the speed section. Sand will add half a second on his lead. Trying to build up as much speed as possible. Going through the stretch. And Sand, I mean, Wally will gain 10 hundredths or so. So we enter this small dirt part. And Wally going way more to the right than Sand. Definitely a safer strat, probably not faster. But he is less than 1 second behind Sand now. Looks like he... Ooh, that is a nasty no drift for Wally. And so he's probably not going to pass Sand in this lap. Sand now with that mistake from Wally 2 seconds ahead. So that was pretty costly for Wally. Seems to be doing a lot of neo drifts, and that is a good skill to have for this map. Alright, so, ooh, and then suddenly he's now really close to Sand again, so Sand with a bad finish to that lap. So yeah, it continues to be really close between Sand and Wally, and then we have a whooping 8 seconds, or 7 seconds rather, down to Flyer, who's now at third place again. Wow, huge gaps between the players. Sand and Wally have figured out this track. There's no question about it. And Flyer was also up there, but then had a couple of bad laps in a row, and that cost him a lot. Back to third place now, and he is 8 seconds ahead of Aurel at fourth. Tween has dropped down a lot. Tween with a massive time loss. He's at fifth place now, 23 seconds behind Sand, and 7.5 seconds behind Aurel at fourth. Something must have happened to Tween in that previous lap. In the meantime, we see Aurel and Massa improving the local record. Massa now up to 12th place. Had a rocky start, but has recovered nicely and is within top 15. And Spam is now at the 16th place, so he's also nearing that top 15 to get some points at least. But I guess it's not gonna matter because your 6 best results will count. And I think this is Spam's 7th race, and probably his worst placement if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, it's pretty close between Roa and Tween now, 5th and 6th place. Let's follow Roa, see if he can get closer to Tween. Ooh, whoa, that is a huge crash from Tween. Massive, massive crash by Tween in the stretch. Bad place to crash as well. Wow, he's gonna drop down to 8th place. Jarem and Yoshi will pass him as well. Fatal mistake there from Tween. Went a bit too much to the right, clipped the wall, and had to respawn. Yikes. Then Mel now is really close to Tween at 9th place. And I mean, yeah, Spam is now at 15. It's getting closer to Tween at least. But I think Roa might take over at 3rd place, because he's now at 5th. Still doing pretty good. As we see Wally with another local record, 226.45. So that's 226 times in a row by Wally. And he has taken over the lead as well. And at the same time, Howie Flyer will take over the local record now, 226.33. But yeah, Wally is a new leader in the race. Half a second ahead of Sand, who of course drives for very short players in the Team Masters Team Cup 2015. Team Acer will play against the BSP tomorrow in the 8 finals, starting at 9 PM CET. I will be casting that. Should be an interesting match. The two teams did get a draw in the group stage of ESL CPS 14, and that was a lot thanks to Sand driving amazingly, so we'll see if Sand's gonna be prepared for tomorrow. In that case, VSP might have a shot at taking down Team Acer. Also, I have written a playoffs preview for that playoffs. It's already out on Team Acer's website, and I'll also promote it later on tonight. But yeah, if you want to read it, you can do it after the race. And I'll give my predictions there for all the matchups as well. Anyway, San now back in the lead as I was talking about that. Oh, and then he got the bug in the transition. Yeah, I think that's. I think it's wise to do what Wally does in that part. Just go a bit more to the right. Take it a bit safer, a bit slower, but a bit safer. It's definitely worth it in the long run on this kind of map. So Wally back in the lead. It's back and forth between Sand and Wally. They are into lap 12 out of 18. And it seems like Raggle is out of the race as well. Not sure where he was last time I saw him, but he is also out of the race, just like Raysons was. Wally 1 second ahead of Sand, soon entering lap 13. This ending, we also see quite a lot of slowdowns. It's really hard to go through that last part consistently. Both Wally and Sand did it similarly, and they are still about 1.5 seconds between them. Sand keeping sure that he, or making sure that he keeps the gear and keeps his speed that way. So does Wally. And then it's 13 seconds down to Haviflyer at 3rd place. This is quite noteworthy. Haviflyer 3rd place, 13 seconds behind 2nd place. And then he's 7 seconds ahead of Aurel at 4th. It kind of looks like it's going to be Wally, Sand and Haviflyer on the podium this week already. And then Aurel is doing good in this race. I don't think he's played that many times in the race. Might even be his first time, not sure. As he will crash, but not gonna lose his 4th place. Although Roa might be getting closer. He's now 4.5 seconds behind. So he gained like half a second there on Aurel. Yeah, I kind of knew that the map would be controversial, if you will, because it does have that kind of old school feeling, I think, with a bit of no drift in it. It's really hard to go through some of these turns with a drift, and that reminds me of old tech maps, especially the United ones that we saw in the early days. It's possible though, especially with the Neo drift, but it's really, really hard to do it, and especially consistently. And Roa continues to gain on Aurel. Oh, and he also will get that that bump from the edge, but didn't lose too much time with it though. But yeah, it's definitely risky. And now Wally 2 seconds ahead of Sand. I wonder if that might have been the reason, because he does that part safer, goes a bit more to the right. Alright, as we are about to enter lap 14, let's have an overview look and go through the live rankings. We got Wally in the lead, 2 seconds ahead of Sand. And then Harvey Flyer 13.5 seconds behind Sand. That's the current top 3. We got Arel at 4th, Roa at 5th, Jerem at 6th, Mel at 7th, Yoshi at 8th, Fuzzy at 9th, Masa at 10th, and Spam up to 11th place now, Shorty at 12th. We got Tween down to 13th, Barbus at 14th, and Dog at 15th. That's the current top 15 getting points in the season, and best lap currently is Harvey Flyer with a time of 2 minutes 26 seconds and 33 hundredths. We see Roa with an improvement as well, getting under 227. Alright, not that many laps left to go. It's between Wally and Sand for first place. And I feel like Wally got the upper hand just by knowing certain sections of the map a bit better than Sand. Let's follow Sand to that dirt transition again, see if he has changed his way or if he still does it the way he's been doing it. So here we go. Yeah, Wally goes way more to the right and Sand going a lot to the left, as much as you can actually, by the looks of it. That time it didn't punish Sand, but maybe next time it will. And yeah, I mean, Wally has won the race one time before in the season. I think that was his first race in the season though. So had he started playing in the season a bit earlier, and he might have been able to challenge Harvey Flyer. Now though, I think it's too late. And I don't think he's going to be able to get 6 results even. I think he can only get 4. But maybe it's still possible for Wally to take top 3 at least, if he like wins this race and then also the last one. I don't know. Sand claiming the third local record, 226.90 as we enters lap 15. It's 71 hundredths between Wally and Sand as they overtake Moo. Oh, and Wally with the landing bug in the dirt will allow Sand to get even closer. Now it's really close. 400s between them. Ooh, that was a risky line from Sand. Gonna lose a ton of speed, a ton of time. And Wally is back to being 1.5 seconds ahead. And let's see here, we got Harvey Flyer getting a bit closer to Sand now, but still far behind. And far ahead of Roa, who's now at 4th place. 14 seconds, in fact. So, looks like Harvey Flyer will take that 3rd place. And then it's a really close battle here between Roa and Arel for 4th place. Since they are 12 seconds ahead of Mel at 6th. So that's also an interesting battle. Jerem at 7th, just ahead of Yoshi. And then Fuzzy and Masa are pretty close to them as well. And then we have 6 seconds down to Spam at 11th. We got Shorty at 12th, 3 seconds behind Spam. We got Dog at 13th. He's 7.5 seconds behind Shorty. Then we got Benko reaching top 14th. Not that far behind Dog. And not that far ahead of Barbus, who is at 15th place. Tween now outside of top 15. What happened? He was at 4th place. Not sure what happened between, but suddenly seemed to have a lot of problem with the map. Alright, we have to follow this fight for first place though. Sand versus Wally, and Sand gonna clip the wall. We'll give Wally now 2 seconds in the lead. Not a good lap for Sand at all. Not sure what his time was. I wish I could see that, but for some reason you don't see that on the server. But yeah, lost a couple of seconds for sure. Alright, here comes the part where Sand crashed in the previous lap. Does it much better now. And he doesn't do the drift at that part. I think Wally does it. He does a neo drift, but Sand does not. So that's also a part where Wally is probably doing a bit better than Sand. As we see fuzzy with a nice time, 2:27.66. Still far ahead of Flyer's best lap though. And yeah, after this lap we only got 2 more laps left to go. So this is really getting down to the end. Sand cannot afford to lose that much more. Ooh, and this part is still really dangerous for Sand. I fear that he might get a bug there before the race is over. Let's follow Wally for a bit. Will he take home the race? This would be Wally's 5th time winning and his 10th time on the podium. Nice turn there. Yeah, he definitely is doing a neo drift at that part. See his ending, kept his speed. And that seems to have been a pretty good lap by Wally, who's now 4 seconds ahead of Sand, and then he gets a no drift entering the next lap, which will allow Sand to get a little closer, but he's still 3.5 seconds ahead. Right now it looks like Wally is adding a couple of seconds on his lead for every lap. 4.5 seconds ahead now. Great start for Wally, except that no drift. Ooh, got a huge bump from the border, but not losing his speed at least. As he enters the speed section for the second to last time. 4 seconds ahead of Sand. Flyer still keeping that 3rd place, not gonna lose it. And will get a lot of points again, might be able to secure his 1st place in the season even. Of course, he also got the best lap right now, 5 bonus points for Flyer. So with that, he would take more points than Sand in this race. Then we still have Roa just ahead of Arel for 4th. And then a huge gap down to Yoshi, Jerem, Mel, and Fuzzy. Massa is really far behind Fuzzy. And then we have Shorty now ahead of Spam. Spam looks to have lost a lot of time. Yeah, he lost a lot of time, down to 12th. Ahead of Benko at 13th, Barbus at 14th, and Dog at 15th. Alright, Sand has gained almost 1 second now. He needs to continue to push it if you want to catch up to Wally. Can't really rely on Wally to make a blunder at this point. Good section again from Wally. Let's see if Sand does it. He does it well too. Keeps the distance, about 3 seconds. Here comes the ending again for the second to last time. Great ending from Wally entering the last lap. Still in the lead with 3.5 seconds ahead of Sand, who comes next. And then we have a huge gap down to Haviflyer. It's at 3rd place. Here he comes down the drop. But we need to focus on Sand versus Wally. They will cross each other at this 3rd turn. Wally back to 4 seconds ahead of Sand. Another great start from Wally. Let's see how he does this tech turn now. Need to keep his drift all the way to the end. And a great turn from Wally. Does a Neo drift again. And he is through it. And Sand is 11 seconds behind. Sand has crashed. Huge crash from Sand. And that's gonna be it. He tried to push it, tried to catch up to Wally. But he pushed it too far. And now there's no doubt Wally will win fB's Weekly Edition 49. As mentioned, this will be his 10th win in total. And on the podium for the 10th time. No, it's, his 10th time in the podium and his 5th time first, sorry. It's hard with numbers sometimes. Here he goes through the last... through the stretches for the last time. Can take it safe. Again, goes a lot to the right. And actually, Haviflyer now is really close to Sand. Let's follow this fight instead. For 2nd place between Sand and Haviflyer. If Haviflyer can get a good ending, and he's gonna get past Sand. He will pass Sand. Haviflyer up to 2nd place. Oh, this is a terrible ending for Sand. Could have taken 1st and now he drops down to 3rd. Wally closing in on the end. Not that many turns left to go. Who's gonna take 2nd though? Haviflyer or Sand? Still a small advantage for Haviflyer. But it's not with a lot. Oh, when Haviflyer clips the wall. Haviflyer will lose some speed and Sand back to 2nd again. Let's take Wally into the finish. It's about to overlap Bergie. Last turn here for Wally. And he's gonna win the race. Congratulations. Let's follow now the fight. Sand versus Haviflyer. Who's gonna win it? Haviflyer or Sand? Or I mean take 2nd. Last turn and Sand with more speed. And it's gonna be Sand. And Haviflyer with a new local record in that lap. Wow. If Sand had gotten a landing bug there in the end, then I don't know what I would have done. That would have been absolutely insane. But Sand able to stay in front of Haviflyer, and I guess it was he kind of deserved that since he was so far ahead of Haviflyer. Here comes Rowan, will take 4th. Aurel was close, but looks like he also lost a lot. Maybe in the last lap, so he's gonna take 5th. Next up we got Mel and Jerem, with Mel passing in the end. And will take 6th ahead of Jerem at 7th. We got Yoshi at 8th. Fuzzy at 9th, and here's Masa at 10th. Then we have Shorty at 11th with a landing bug, but no one will pass him. Spam still with the last turn left. And he will take 12th, getting some points at least. Then we got Barbus next. And now a 10-minute timer has started for the players. Barbus will take 13th, Dog will take 14th, Benko take 15th. And the last points. Sirs will take 16th. We got Nugget at 17th. Sneak at 18th. Then we have Cairo at 19th. Razorlight at 20th. Monster at 21st. Sneak with a good time there in the last lap. Fake at 22nd. Tween at 23rd. Focus at 24th. Nimp at 25th. Obasan will take 26th. Ahead of Cars at 27th. And Booster at 28th. Then we have Chaos Hand taking 29th. Berserk 30th. And Ricardo at 31st. Ahead of Tivo at 32nd. CS at 33rd. Clement at 34th, Kavix at 35th, Scotty at 36th, and then Fredel Shaman is next up. Not far ahead of Nelky, but will stay in front, so Nelky will take 38th, Silky 39th, Pokadur 40th, Bergie 41st, Joppy at 42nd, we got Magic Man at 43rd, and then Ook. Oh wait, no, this is not Ook, this is Takujix. Ook is a clan, I believe. Sorrow Croatia will take 45th. We have Era for Impact with low speed. Will anyone pass him? Maybe. Oh, so no! Bad landing, and Era will keep that 46th place. Here is Tom, who will take 49th. Aragon will pass him in the end. Freaky at 50th, Dudika at 51st, Cousin at 52nd, El Techno at 53rd, and here is Moo taking 54th, Junie at 55th, Dilep at 56th, Bex at 57th, Jofo at 58th. We have Infinity next up. 6 minutes left on the clock. Ooh, oh, okay. We'll take 59th. No one passed him there. Naken will take 60th. Then we have Rask. Will take 61st. Ahead of Sarkin at 62nd. And Claleroy at 63rd. Ice 9 will finish at 64th. And then Mr. Moo at 65th. And Kure at 66th. Then we have Fox Striker taking next position, 67th. Ooh, oh, Nexus will at least reach that checkpoint, but Mello will pass and take 69th. And then we have Nexus at 70th. Funny Raceman at 71st, Mitchell at 72nd, and Skid Racer at 73rd. We got Mayhem or Furious. But, going backwards here, taking 74th. Then we have Steroid at 75th, and Eagle at 77th. Lars passed him in the end. Bimbia will take 78th, Ebotit will take 79th, and Laximus will take 80th. 5 minutes left on the clock when Mungus is closing in on the end. Good speed and a good landing as well, taking 81st. Oh, Dunster hitting the edge. Pottsor getting closer, but Dunster will stay in front and take 82nd. And here's Pottsor, 83rd. And then Don't Care still got a couple of checkpoints to pass. Still got a couple of players driving. Looks like it's not probably going to be over 100 players finishing. We had 200 or so players starting, but I think a lot of players had problems with this difficult map. So Don't Care will take 84th. Then we have Denny at 85th. And Ninja is next. We'll be able to finish as well. So will Geek and Kookled and Martin and also Circuit Breaker. Then I'm not so sure if Sanroku can finish the race. We'll have to wait and see. Alright, Ninja will take 86th. Geek will take 87th. Kookled will take 88th. And Martin SK007 will take 89th, 17 seconds ahead of Circuit Breaker. Who comes next? Stuck in the checkpoint. But yeah, 2 minutes ahead of Sanderco. Okay, so Sanderco should also be able to finish the race. If it doesn't do any major crashes. But yeah, then I think he can finish it. But looks like Sanderco will be the last player though. Circuit Breaker will take 90th, and then Sanderco is next. Is on his last lap. 2 minutes and 48 seconds left to go. With a decent lap, should be able to finish this one. But then, yeah, Joffy here has not entered the last lap yet, so it's gonna be Sanderku who finishes at last place. I guess as we wait on Sanderku to enter or to finish the race, I just want to mention that next week there won't be a race again because I'm gonna cast Gamers Assembly. So just keep that in mind, that I'm gonna take another break, and then after the week I will of course have the last race of the season. So far looks pretty good here from Sanderku. He's not made any mistakes. Keeps a steady pace, about to overlap player. Hits the wall hard but did not fall down at least. So can continue the race. 1 minute 25 seconds left to go. Ooh. Hit the wall hard. And another wall hit here from Sanderku. Can he make it? Not that long left to go. I'm gonna save the replay in the meantime. Here we go. And then let's see if Sanderku can finish. 1 minute left to go. He should be able to make this. Just these last obstacles left to go. And that's gonna be it. So Sanderku will take 91st place and be the last player to finish. So let's summarize the race as the timer is going down. So Wally won the race and will get 40 points. Sand took second, and then Javi Flyer took third and also won the best lap. And yeah, I guess before I go again, I wrote a playoffs preview for the Team Masters Team Cup playoffs that starts tomorrow. It's on Team Acer's website if you want to check it out. And then yeah, Team Acer versus very short players will be played at 9 PM CET tomorrow. So I will be casting that. And then also on Monday I will be streaming the BA F1 Championship, the Malaysian GP, if you want to watch that. So that is kind of the schedule going forward. But yeah, no, that's gonna be it. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for playing. See ya.